what's up, everybody? Kellen here from Start Your Systems. Welcome back to First Look, where today we're checking out the 2025 Denver Supercross. Round number 16 of Monster Energy Supercross, round number 16 of Moto Option Supercross 2. And this, as always, with each week, is my first real look at the track. Like, I've done absolutely 0 laps on the track, so I always like doing these with you guys so you get a chance to not only see the track yourself and learn about it a little bit, but also get my initial thoughts and perspectives on the track, how it races, how it feels, what it looks like, and so on and so forth. Before we begin, I will say I am going to be play-by-play announcer for the Yamaha Pulp MX LCQ Challenge this Friday at Denver. It's going to be on the Verb Moto YouTube channel. I believe we are starting at 2:45 local time, so that's Central time, or not Central, that's Mountain time, sorry. So it should be 4:30? No, what did I just say? 4:30 Eastern. 4:45 Eastern, 1:45 Pacific, and you guys will definitely want to tune in to watch it. Very excited to call that action, and excited to see a lot of money given out to the privateers. If you haven't gotten involved already, there's a link in the description below to head over. I think it's just $30 to enter the raffle to win a YZ450, and all the money then goes to the purse for this race, and I think it's going to be pretty close to about $100,000 in purse money. So shout out Steve Mathis, Pulp MX, always putting on this event with Yamaha, and very excited to call the race. So just little thoughts and tidbits there to start things off. Like I said, check out the link in the description below. All right, so this track, very peaky in the little bit that I've been able to divulge into it so far. The little lap and a half that I've done so far, every rhythm jump feels really tall. Pretty gnarly rhythm section there down that back straightaway. I feel like 3-3-4-1 is going to be the way to go. And then obviously out of this corner, trying to get up on top of these whoops is going to be critical. And probably 3-2 here is going to be the go. But obviously 2-3 for me, just because I was getting a little bit sketchy right there. Curious to see if anyone goes all the way quad over that, or if we'll see anybody also elect to go over table single to the inside just to scrub off a little bit of the corner. Highly doubt that, but let's play with a couple different options here just to kind of feel things out, because we did a 58.8 now so far. Obviously I jumped off the track and I didn't get the cleanest run in the whoops, but probably somewhere in the low 50s will be the best lap times for these guys. Want to see what we can do in this rhythm section though. Let's cut down early and just double in, and I guess it would be 3 table over single 3 or 3-4-2, but the 2 out is probably a little bit peaky, just because that double is a 5-foot single into the corner. So I want to try this again, as we're going to jump off the track here for a minute. Try this again, get the double actually kind of cleanly, and there we go. And then we'll 3 again, and then like I said, over, and then 3 into the corner. Could be a good option for a 250F line right there. I think everyone should be able to do that 3-5-3 triple. Like, I'm not even trying, and I pop over it pretty easily on a 450. So I think a good seat bounce on a 250, just some good corner speed, should be enough for you guys to get over that. These whoops seem closer together. I don't know if that's just me, but they definitely don't seem like they have a lot of spacing in between them. So something to keep in mind when you're doing your little lean backs or engine blips through each set to get a good drive on those. And then on off here to the outside. So a couple different options here in the first corner. You guys assume me go left and do the 2 table over 3 into the corner. You could go outside roll on off 2 into the corner. I think both will be pretty even, to be honest with you. And then that finish line jump, very, very tall this week. I don't know. Everything just feels bigger. I don't know why. I don't know that it's going to be this peaky in Denver this weekend, especially because at elevation they seem to sometimes roll the jumps out just a little bit to help with like pop and stuff like that, since obviously the bikes will be a little bit underpowered at elevation. But this track, the way that Race Factory built it, feels very peaky. I don't know why. I don't know if it was a strategic decision by them to have this race be a little extra oomphy. Let's try 5th gear in the whoops. That's not going to work. My setup never works for 5th gear in the whoops. People always ask me, why don't you do it? The pros do it. And that's why. I've always been one to build my setups where 1st gear pinned in the whoops is going to be the most consistent way through it. And doesn't work every time, but it works for me. So I tend to run it that way. Let's try a couple. Let's see if I could get a couple like decent laps here, trying some different options, and we could get some comparisons so that we know what works and what doesn't. I'm going to try safe lines this lap and see if this works. Quote unquote safe lines. And see if we can make this happen. So we'll come out of this corner, swing down the straightaway. I think you'll want to use the berm here no matter what. Like, some people will be able to tuck inside and still triple from the inside, but unless they build a good rut with the deformation there, I just don't see anyone that's going to be really keen to do that every lap. So we'll just go outside there, and then, like I said, 2 in, 3 over table, 3 into the corner. That was the safe line there. Charge back down across the start straight right here into this sweeper. Get up on top of these whoops pretty cleanly. Nice. Get the 3-2. Ooh, a little bit short there, but we'll tuck to the inside anyway. Go step on, step off. And then I'm going to go inside here. I think that this is like a safer line to go inside and go over that single over this table 3. I think that that's safer than trying to get the 3 on personally. But curious to see if it changes up at all. So 57.6 with quote-unquote safe lines. Now let's try to go for the other lines, the alternate lines around the racetrack, and see if we run anything better. Obviously, you can go faster with just overall better corner speed and some other things like that as well. But we'll go 3 in here, 3 again. A little bit short, and they're not going to get it this time. So we'll finish off the lap and see what this garners us, but definitely going to be a little bit slower through there than the alternate line that I just took. And then we'll come flying down here into this corner, probably second gear all the way through there, and then get up on top of this. And then for me, I shift back down to first into the tough block. So a little bit of an off-track experience right there. Definitely lost some time. All right, let's try to pull it back together and see if we can get one decent lap doing the alternate lines, which to me, again, is going to the right here. It's kind of built, that inside lip is built up a little bit to be able to allow you to double over that initial single. So something to keep in mind. If you try to go inside and do the line I just did, you definitely would not be able to do it. Pretty much prevents you from doing that with the way that that's built. Something to note. All right, so let's try to finish this off. Over the Supercross triple, a little bit more fluid this time. Out of this corner, 3 in, 3 again. Oh, a little bit long. Actually, that makes me wonder, can we go onto the table? I don't even know if it would be faster. Probably not. But I wonder if you get the 3 in really clean if we can go onto the table. So let's carry some good corner speed. Scrub in. Yeah, there's just no good reason to. I mean, you probably can. But I think quad, like using the quad onto the backside of the big single and then single into the corner is going to be faster. No idea if that would be a real life line. But if they build it anywhere similar to this, especially with how hard-packed Denver gets, this is one of those rounds where, in my opinion, even though the elevation saps power, you tend to be able to see a little bit more of like the lines that we can do in sim become lines that are possible in real life, just because the track doesn't break down as gnarly. And so the speeds are a little bit higher. It's a little bit more blue grooved and hard-packed, similar to the traction model that sim offers anyway. So I think we could see that line be possible if it's built anywhere similar, but I don't know. All right, let's try to actually do one of these laps complete all the way through, like I said, over the finish line jump, and we're going to try to go 3-3-4-1 in the back rhythm section, and then just finish off the lap with the rest of the stuff to see just how comparable the lap times are. Again, that 57.6 is still my alternate lines, like the safe lines, more or less. So we're just going to try to complete this with the good lines. There we go, got that. Probably could even 5 all the way into the corner, but we'll check up and do just a 4-1 triple there to the outside here. Didn't get those corners particularly great. That was probably a couple tenths lost right there alone. And then get up on top of these whoops. Oh, a little bit of an awkward bounce. It's one thing that you people watching at home should learn, though. When you have mistakes like that in the whoops, it is much better to back out of it and save yourself from a crash instead of just keep going for it and trying to pull something together that isn't there. Because if you do crash, that's 10 seconds lost versus the maybe a second to a second and a half you're going to lose by just checking up and not continuing to go for it. It's one of those things that I always used in my days racing in this game, and it worked out a lot. I ended up having much more consistent races, and you kind of built up momentum throughout the race as well by staying on 2 wheels. So one of those things I always kind of try to remind people to think about. Just check up. Don't go for it, man. It's not worth it. You don't need to do it. Okay, so looks like we are not going to be able to fully get one of those laps together. Just keep casing this back rhythm section too much. So apologies for that. Really wanted to try to do that for you guys, but not going to be able to get through it today. But yeah, this is Denver, man. This is an interesting racetrack for sure. Very peaky in sim, so how it'll race tonight for round 16 of the championship, no idea. Going to be really interesting to see. Braden Tharp is going for a championship in 250 West, so you guys don't want to miss out on that. Tune in and support him. And then the 450 championship is as good as it gets really right now. It's insane between Colby Eaglin and Braden Carter, so we're keeping a close eye on that. But this has been the first look at the 2025 Denver Supercross track in MX Simulator. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. As always, appreciate you stopping by and watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now. If you liked that video, be sure to subscribe to the channel for much more motocross gaming content.